So today we've decided to talk about youth unemployment because we thought we can address many society issues within this topic. We can address education, the process of job applications, mental health, well-being, and the benefit system. Due to time constraints, we couldn't challenge everything that we wanted to, but we are gonna do an overview of our policies, and we are gonna explain why we want youth unemployment to be better in the future. So, education, Olga?
I guess we're just talking, we started off with, we kind of broke it down to high school and like then higher education and stuff, and things you can do in a high school is to then obviously decrease youth unemployment is to kind of incorporate this like CAS, which we had in IB. It's when you, however you do it, but you can kind of incorporate high school students into the community, so you have like service, action, creativity hours, whatever. It's gonna be a class or any kind of shape or form of that. And then there you break down this like wall between how like school is quite isolated and how you like, you sit in school, you do school, you leave school. Here then you can be working with the community and like seeing how stuff works and like kind of getting experience that's relevant or irrelevant to your degree further in your life and stuff. So yeah. Also apprenticeships and stuff, so you can, there's a lot of people who also, if you can't afford or don't want to finish high school and already have like an idea of what they want to do, so then you can start trainings and stuff. I mean, it's quite popular in Austria and stuff, where you like start the training like when you're 16, you drop out and you kind of work in the field you want to work, so then you get experience and then people hire you further on.
So it's all part of know who you are attitude, and Zizki came with this idea like know who you are, the know-how of your own personality, and try to get it there. Okay. So in social policies, this term, life cycles. So we are born, we are raised by our parents, by our grandparents, by our family, and then we're going to primary school, middle school, high school, university, job, retirement, die. The main idea is that this life cycle of education has extended. So we learn more and more, but we kind of restrict the work cycle. So what we are trying to do is to adapt university to employment, to work experience, in order not to make the work cycle disappear completely.
Yeah, so like Ilana was saying, we were trying to bridge the gap between education and not even just strictly work, but just the outside world in general, because it's quite insular. So we thought one idea would be to have the option of a third year, not necessarily abroad or working, just to kind of do what you want to do. So obviously there's the opportunity for a lot of people who are doing like languages to take a year abroad, and some of them work, but I know for me, like I'm doing English, I don't really have that option. I can study, but I can't work or anything. So we thought that would be a good way to incorporate work into continuing study as well. I don't think there's anything to add to that.
Also another thing we discussed is that generally there needs to be more comprehension between different like groups in especially tertiary education, because at the end of the day, as students, we generally, like, why there's the youth unemployment, generally students tend to point the fingers at governments and businesses saying, you're not hiring us, you're unemployed. And the universities will say it's the lazy students' fault, or it's the government's fault, they're not hiring. The governments will say, listen, it's the economy, or it's the businesses. Businesses will say it's the lazy students and the government. So everyone's pointing fingers, and at the end of the day, we have a problem, which is in Europe, on average, 1 out of 4 between 18 and 24 is unemployed, which is, it's almost cutting off a whole generation of, that's not sustainable. In a continent of, half a billion people, that's really not sustainable. So the idea would be just to have these different 4 groups, so students, university representatives, businesses, or organizations for that matter, and government officials, just kind of getting together, say for example how we got around this table together, and everyone exposing what they see the problem as being and how actually they can address these problems and turning them into solutions. So instead of pointing fingers and sort of having scapegoats, you just say how you can make this process a lot better and what each one needs to do. Everyone has their own, duties and responsibilities. So having these kinds of meetings would definitely help this.
And of course, since you're not well, you can't perform well, you can't enjoy your own work. So we wanted to address the disability issue, how disabled people are integrated into this youth experience. And of course there's a lot of discrimination, and physical disability is always deemed as a mental disability as well. And employers are more ignorant. So we don't know exactly what to do with these issues because there's a lot on the market. There are a lot of emphasis on what should be done regarding disability problems. And there are a lot of disability acts in UK policies. But we are at loss now, and if you have any ideas, just come with us and maybe we can draw together some policies about disabilities issues and integration into work for young people. Any questions, any ideas?
Should we save this to after?
Yeah,
But